Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most incredible ideas in all of neuroscience, the powerful and often invisible link between your mind and the world you experience every single day. So let's just jump right in with a pretty provocative question. What if the world you perceive isn't a perfect, crystal-clear photograph of what's out there? What if it's more like a story, a construction, built by your own brain? I know, it sounds a little wild, but this idea is gaining some serious ground in neuroscience. Top cognitive scientists argue that your brain isn't just passively seeing things. Nope, it's actively guessing. It's taking in bits of sensory data, mashing them up with your past experiences, and then generating its best hypothesis of what's out there. In other words, it's basically a controlled hallucination. And that's because, at its core, your brain is a prediction machine. It's not just sitting back and reacting to the world. It is constantly, and I mean constantly, trying to forecast what's coming next. And these predictions don't just shape your thoughts, they literally form the foundation of your conscious experience. So how in the world does the brain even begin to manage all of this? Well, it starts by dealing with an absolutely insane amount of information. Get this. Every single second, your senses, your eyes, your ears, your skin are being bombarded with an estimated 11 million bits of information. Just think about that for a moment. It's a total tidal wave of data happening right now. And yet, out of all that chaos, your conscious mind can only handle about 2,000 of those bits per second. So what happens to the other 99.9% of that information? It doesn't just vanish, it gets filtered. Okay, so the answer lies deep in your brainstem, in this bundle of nerves called the Reticular Activating System, or the RAS for short. You can think of it like a bouncer at the super exclusive nightclub of your consciousness. It's standing at the door, deciding what information is important enough to get in and what gets ignored. So what's on the VIP list? What does this bouncer decide to let through? Well, it lets in whatever it thinks is most important to you based on your goals, your fears, and your focus. It's the reason why the moment you decide you want a specific kind of car, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere. You've basically told your RAS, hey, this is important now, let me know when you see it. So this brings up a really fascinating question. If our brain is filtering reality based on what we focus on, just how powerful is our internal world, our imagination? Turns out it's powerful enough to train your brain without you even lifting a finger. Research on elite athletes has uncovered something truly mind-blowing. On a neurological level, your brain has a really hard time telling the difference between something you're actually doing in the real world and something you're just vividly imagining. So here's what's happening inside your skull. When a basketball player mentally visualizes sinking a free throw, it activates the exact same neural pathways that fire when they're actually on the court shooting the ball. For your brain, it's basically a full dress rehearsal. And you can actually measure the impact of this in the real world. Studies show that athletes who consistently use this kind of visualization can improve their muscle coordination by as much as 30% compared to those who don't. That is a massive competitive edge, earned entirely inside their own minds. Okay, so if imagination can prime our brains and our muscles for peak performance, can our beliefs and our expectations physically change our bodies in other ways? The answer is a huge, resounding yes. The most famous example of this is, of course, the placebo effect. And we now know this isn't just all in your head. The expectation of getting better can trigger real, measurable neurobiological changes in your body. It can activate the very same pathways that actual medications do. There's this fantastic study from 2011 that shows this perfectly. Researchers had people drink the exact same 380-calorie milkshake on two separate occasions. The first time, they told them it was a super indulgent, high-calorie shake. The next time, they labeled that same shake as a sensible, low-calorie option. And the results? They were stunning. When people believed they were drinking something indulgent, their hunger hormone, ghrelin, dropped like a rock, leaving them feeling full and satisfied. Their belief literally changed their body's physical response. And look, this goes way beyond milkshakes. The big takeaway here is that our mindset, what we believe and what we expect, has profound, measurable effects on our physiology. We're talking everything from our hormones and brain activity, all the way to our physical health, and even how long we live. So let's tie all of this together. The bottom line is, we aren't just passive observers watching reality unfold. We are active participants in its construction. You could even say, we are the architects of our own experience. It really works like a feedback loop. See, it all starts in our minds, with the goals we set and the things we imagine. That focus then directs our attention, basically telling our brain's filter, that RAS, what to look out for in the world. This new, filtered reality then primes our bodies and our actions to line up with those expectations, which in turn influences the results we get, and that just reinforces the original belief, starting the whole cycle over again.
Now, let's be really clear. This isn't magical thinking. You can't just sit on your couch and imagine $1 million into your bank account. But the science is undeniable. Your internal world, what you choose to focus on, what you believe, what you expect, it profoundly shapes the mind that perceives and interacts with the world. And in doing so, it shapes the reality you actually live.
And that really just leaves us with one final powerful question. Knowing all of this, knowing that your focus literally helps build your reality, what kind of reality are you going to choose to build?